Real talk, the metaphor messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, coming at you from a fucking hot Germany. God damn, is it hot. I am dying. I am sweating. I am sitting in ball soup. I'm in this new friggin' chair and I just sweat. I'm afraid to turn on the massage. I'm going to fucking electrocute myself on camera. But I'm live, and I'm here for you. And I know that some people are like, oh, Dave, you don't do the wrestling enough. I need you to do the wrestling. Come off the top rope and stick your cock in my mouth. I know I hit my elbow, but I decided to go dirty with it. It is what it is. Please, Dave, more wrestling. So Sundays are going to go back to the way it was. And that is, of course, your wrestling questions. Now, Mr. Andre Corbeil is supposed to be here. Operative word, supposed to be. But he's got to show up. I told him to go on a Discord. He'll probably end up wanting to go to Skype, but I don't want to go to Skype. I want to be on Discord so I can take your guys' calls, your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your likes, your loves, your anecdotes, everything else that you might have about professional wrestling. I want to hear what you guys have to say because I got to be honest. I need you to get me juiced up. I need juiced. I need to be juiced. My wrestling is not giving me the same hard on it once gave me. I don't know, the big stuff is, but like creatively, I'm just having a hard time. I still haven't finished Raw or Smackdown this week. Look, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't stay up all night anymore to watch it. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean to watch Raw and to do Raw like I used to do Raw and Smackdown, where the live reviews or the live reaction show, I would literally stay up all night. 2 o'clock in the morning, Raw and Smackdown starts here. Raw is 3 hours. That's 5 o'clock in the morning, kids. Then I do at least an hour, most of the time 2, for a review. So I stopped doing it because it was killing me. Because I had to get up at 7 after that to get my kid out to school. So I stopped. It was killing me. I started walking in the middle of the day instead of sleeping all day. And now my life has changed. And it's harder now. It's just harder to get into the wrestling when it's already recorded and there's all the spoilers and there's everybody talking about it. And then on top of it, it's just not very good. And at least a good majority of it is just not very captivating at the moment. And the part of this is the WrestleMania lull. We're in that lull, and I'm sure things are going to start picking up right after Money in the Bank and such when we're going right into SummerSlam. I'm confident of that. And I'm still going to be doing all the pay-per-views, and I'm still going to be doing random wrestling videos when I find appropriate. Now, Mondays, Sundays, you're going to probably get wrestling-related content. Sundays for sure, and even more so if Andre Corbeil ever shows the fuck up. But we also have Ace Trainer Liam, who is returning from Comic-Con and will be becoming a bigger part of this channel starting next week. So, all that being said, let's start with a little wrestling thing. I have come to a conclusion. One that I do not come to lightly. Now, you guys have seen on this channel, if you've been watching for a long time, I have done top 5s, top 10s in the past. And one of the ones that I did early, which I do not recommend you go watch, is the top 5 theme songs of all time. I got to scrap that entire video. I got to scrap it. It's got to be gone. It's got to be done. It's got to be redone completely. Because there's no question what the greatest theme song in the history of wrestling is. In the history of wrestling, it's glorious. There is nothing better. There's nothing that will ever be better. There's nothing that could be done better. It's just simply glorious. Something about it. Something that doesn't get old. Something, it's so simple. It's easy. It doesn't overtax you when you hear it. It's just a couple of verses, yet it's so exciting. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to hit on that because to me, that is a controversial subject because people are going to be like, how dare you? What about American Made? What about American Males? How dare you? American males, American males. Come on. But there's no question in my mind that it is glorious. Now, that's not the real topic I wanted to talk about, of course. The actual topic that I did want to start the show off with is the thing we're going to see in July. July, WWE is doing another tournament, and this time they're focusing on the ladies. That's right, it's going to be a big-ass ladies tournament that's going to run through the entirety of the summer, and it looks like it's going to be awesome, and it is going to get a live finale, much similar to what we have seen in the other tournaments. This one has got me very excited for a few different reasons. One, because of some of the talent that they're talking about bringing in. It's very exciting because whoever is not already a part of it in that women's division, they got so much talent loaded right now, both on the main roster and NXT. They're going to be making connections with these women now, and that is just spine-tingling to me. Let's get this division better, faster. But from a production standpoint, I'm a little bit more excited about it. I gotta be honest. The fact that they are going to finally, it appears, to get Renee Young at the announce booth, finally, for an actual real event. I know she's done some NXT in the past and stuff, but to see her really sit down and with Jim Ross, no less, and potentially another Hall of Fame woman from past, maybe Lita, maybe Beth Phoenix, that is super exciting to me. Super. I mean, just absolutely mind-blowing. Because this could be a huge event. This could actually really kickstart the next generation of women's wrestling. Not only what we already have, but inspire the next series of women's wrestling. Women's wrestling is still very fringe. Not the easiest thing to get into. Men's wrestling, you burn out in college athletics, it's a natural progression. Women's wrestling is a little bit different. You know, they're only now starting to scour the women's fitness model ranks and such. Now, they have in the past with people like Trish Stratus, but it's few and far between. But now they're starting to go to it a little bit more. Women's gymnastics, they're starting to go get more people, and that's pretty exciting. The talent level is there. It's raising constantly. So if we can have a major event with major credibility and major personalities, this could be absolutely incredible. It could be well done, and it could be a lot of fun for everybody involved. And it's something that I am genuinely looking forward to, because we are so used to seeing 3 out of 5 women's matches that are basically pee breaks, click-throughs, nothing important. There shouldn't be one of those on this entire card. It should be the exact same as the CWC. Exact same thing as the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. That thing was perfect. Every match felt important, even if you didn't know them. Same thing with the UK Championship Tournament. Much smaller, granted, but every single match on that card you cared about. It was important, even if you didn't know who the fuck they were. And that is something that's exciting. That's what WrestleMania needs. That's what wrestling needs, not just WrestleMania. It's what wrestling needs. It's what the industry is yearning for, striving for. Not just men or women stars, stars. We need personalities. We need people who are ready to take center stage. We need people who are ready to bring in other folks. We need somebody to connect with. Man, woman, or child, we need someone to connect with. Hell, there are people who connect deeply with King fucking Maxwell, a 4-year-old. For Christ's sake, I watched a Twitter video yesterday. Matt Hardy and his son blew up because people connect with that shit. A baby, because he has personality. He has personality. It's going to be very interesting if we get any of those type of women out of this tournament. I think it's going to be very exciting and something that everybody absolutely should be supporting. And once again, it's on that beacon of hope for the future of all wrestling. And I do believe that seriously, that it will one day turn into the Netflix of wrestling, the WWE Network. It's a perfect entity. So I'm very excited about that. And I think it's something that we're going to, it's going to fill a lot of time in the summer. So those are the things I wanted to talk about briefly. Now I turn the show over to you. And because it's hot as goddamn Satan's anus, we're only going to go as long as we got questions. So call in now on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura. And of course, that number, 702-751-2902, or simply jump into my Discord. The link is in the description box. And come on in to Waiting to Call, and we will take your calls, your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your likes, your loves, your anecdotes, and maybe even a few very negative threats. Let's start with my German brethren. Hopefully it is just as hot wherever he is as it is fucking for me. What's going on, Super Rising Storm? Why is your country fucking Satan's armpit right now?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's pretty fucking cold up here in the north.
Come on, Super Rising. Fix your shit. Super Rising Storm, you're my only caller right now.
Yeah, I noticed.
I don't know why. Is it me?
It's a
I was
shame.
wondering if it's me. Let's find out. Let's see. I don't think it's me. Pretty sure it's not. Fairly certain that it's you. But we'll see. Jump into Discord, guys. Let's see what's going on with this thing. Whose fault is this? Is it me? Is it somebody else? I don't know.
I think it is.
Super Rising Storm, you there?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on, my dude. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. Output. Speakers. Super Rising Storm, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Jesus, why the fuck is Discord resetting shit? I hate this stuff. I really do. It just resets stuff. Just reset something. No idea why. All right, Super Rising Storm, you're live with Dead on Dave. Why is your country turned into fucking Satan's armpit? It is so hot.
I don't know what you're talking about. Here in the north, it's pretty fucking cold right now.
Well, winter is always coming in the north. That's how it feels. It's so fucking hot here right now. My God, I can't even stand it. What do you got
Believe
for
me, yesterday it was.
I'm dying.
Oh, for sure.
It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's 10
I
o'clock
know.
at night.
It was the same here yesterday, but right now it's windy and cold, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. No problem.
I mean, you had thunderstorms a few
We're
hours
still
ago, right?
getting thunderstorms. It's just passing now. It's awful. All right, mate. What do you got for me live?
What do you think about the Paul Heyman and Finn Balor segment last time on Raw?
Didn't see it.
Because I find it pretty interesting.
Yeah, haven't seen it. Haven't seen
Oh.
it. Haven't even gotten that far. Have not finished Raw or SmackDown. Haven't seen it.
Okay. So basically, it was Finn had a promo about talking how he's going to beat Brock Lesnar for the title and la la la, and then suddenly Paul came out, and everyone was like, "Okay, what's going to happen now?" And then he was speaking out his respect for Finn, and yeah, I'm eager to see you battle Brock.
Same thing that he did with Goldberg. It's a nothing thing.
Yeah, but wait, the thing is, he with Goldberg, he said, "Yeah, I'm eager to see this, but you're not going to beat him." He actually said something like, "Oh, you might actually win the hit."
Oh, you mean like he said to Roman Reigns? Yeah, Paul Heyman's getting into the same fucking patterns. This has the same thing all the time. Nobody actually, and the reason why he did it is because nobody actually thinks for a second that Finn Balor could beat Brock Lesnar. So what they did was they sent big fat Paul Heyman out there and said, "Hey, big fat Paul Heyman, go ahead and work your magic, even though that's the same thing that you've been doing constantly, and try to make Finn Balor look like a genuine contender to the match." A couple of problems with it. Of course, Finn Balor has yet to win the #1 contender match yet. Of course, now they've kind of given that away. And considering that everybody in the match is already in an angle with each other, really, that was only the option anyway. I did see a little bit of it, and I saw some of the thing. I can tell you right now that I am tired of Paul Heyman, and I am tired of this same recycled garbage. And nobody for a second is buying that Finn Balor can beat Brock Lesnar. Nobody. And I love Finn Balor. I'm a fan.
We all do.
But come on.
It was weird to me, the handshake in the end, and I don't know.
He did right before the WrestleMania match. He did the exact same thing. He talked about, I respect you, the Samoan badass. Did that whole fucking shtick. He goes, I think that you might have a chance, but Brock Lesnar doesn't think that you have a chance. And that's what he'll do.
Yeah, but Dave, that's the thing. He didn't say that to Finn.
No. He does, but it's still the same fucking promo. Just because he doesn't say the second part doesn't make it any less the same fucking promo. It's the same. He's gonna say it. It's lame. It's boring. It's played out. It's the same thing over and over. And I'm tired of Paul Heyman.
I guess he was a little bit more respectful, but
yeah, because it's a harder sell. He has to be more respectful. It's a harder sell. He has to work harder to put this guy over because there is virtually no chance of him beating Brock Lesnar. So, and nobody believes it. Nobody believes for a second that he would be an actual physical threat. At least people believe that Roman Reigns could hurt Brock Lesnar. Hey, Jesus Christ, what is Finn Balor going to do? Maybe hope to catch a cold the night before and then sneeze on him and hope that he dies on the way to the ring? That's the only chance he fucking has. So, yeah, to me, the reason why he didn't do the other part of it is very simple. Because if he did, it would kind of be showing his hand. he has to fucking put him over. He has to make it seem like he's a legitimate threat. So having Paul Heyman's respect means that he has a chance. And to me, it's ABC type booking, and I think it's kind of short-sighted. I think it's boring, and I think it's part of the reason why so many people are kind of tuning out. You know, if you're losing me, that's saying something. You're losing me. The guy who always gets accused of having the rose-colored glasses on. I'm sorry. I'm just like, it's getting to that point. It's just like, man, we were supposed to be getting new exciting storylines from the Superstar Shakeup, and we simply haven't gotten it. Simply hasn't been there. Doing the exact same angle that they did before Brock Lesnar's title reign is disgusting to me. It shows that they learned nothing from having him off TV for as long as they did. Nobody fucking takes Dean Ambrose or that Intercontinental Championship as the main title on the brand. They're devaluing almost every single member, including every of the last 3 or 4 title holders of the WWE Champion, Universal Championship. Every title. Do you even remember Kevin Owens' title reign at this point? Does anyone even remember it? No.
I think the only thing people remember about is that he always got help from Jericho, and he was a coward.
Yeah.
And la la la.
It's just very bizarre. Now, look, from a Finn Balor standpoint, this is a win because Finn Balor is awesome. Finn Balor is the man, and he's a huge star, and he's going to be a mega star. But this is a bad matchup for him because as good as Brock can be, as good as Brock can sell for others, I don't see him doing that much of that to Finn. I didn't see him doing much of that to Daniel Bryan because at the end of the day, Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor is basically you. You know, he's like, you know what I mean? He's an everyman.
That fits.
And I don't mean to say that in disrespect because I love Finn Balor. I think he's legit one of the top 10 guys in the world today. But, you know, it's tough. All right, Super Rise, let me get some other callers. You got anything else?
Actually, Money in the Bank, because that match is looking really good right now.
It looks very predictable to me. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. What's your call on it?
In a story. Everybody else is in a story. It's one of those situations where everybody's already connected to somebody else, and it doesn't really make sense. So Shin's got to win this thing. But who does he take on? Is Jinder going to drop the belt back and be the 4th consecutive transitional WWE World Champion?
I don't think Jinder is dropping the title.
I don't think so either. But is anybody going to care about Jinder and Shin? It's a double-edged sword. At least you have an opportunity to give a shit if it's Randy Orton and Shin. But Jinder and Shin, I don't know if anybody gives a fuck about that.
I mean, at this point, even Sammy could win Money in the Bank because he's the underdog now.
That might be your guy. That might be the best option because
he or Corbin.
Corbin, I don't think yet. Although I do like when heels get the briefcase. I think it's more natural. I think it's a lot more stories that you could tell. But it's difficult, you know, because Baron feels like he's a good feud or 2 away, so maybe that's another reason to give him the Money in the Bank. I don't know. It's a really weird one to me. Shin feels like he's ready now. Like, why wait? You know, let's give him. But then again, in the same, just make him #1 contender. You know, which you can do without giving the Money in the Bank. So I'm still. It's hard for me because jury's still out. But like from an emotional standpoint, I think most people want to see Shin get a huge win, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing with Corbin is he was supposed to get this major push new entrants and what not, and so I think it's going to be Sammy.
Well, the Sammy's already locked in a feud with Baron, you know. So it's weird. It's weird. You know who might be the best option? It might be Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens might be a really good option because that doesn't affect his United States Championship standing at all. In fact, it makes him stronger.
And that's the only title except for the tag team titles, he didn't have.
Yeah, the thing and the cool thing about it is what you can do is this gives you an opportunity to give Kevin Owens a fast lane, for lack of a better term, to the World Championship again, or at least give him an into that, while he could drop the United States Championship to AJ Styles and not look weak doing it. It's the whole reason why they decided to go the count out angle, so they didn't make either one look weak. Well, now you can keep doing that because even if AJ beats him, well, he still has the money in the bank, so it's not a big deal. So we got a donation. Let's check out what that is. Crow Molly donated $4.20. Smoke it up, boys. Smoke it up. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. All right, buddy. You got anything? Oh, no. You said enough. All right, I'm going to take some other callers.
Yeah, let the other two speak.
Right. All right, Super Rising. Have a good night, buddy.
You too, Dave.
Let's go to the vaginal persuasion, because that's always a good perspective to have. Kirsty Graham. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got? Nope. Guess not. Will Dillon, since Kirsty got a little bit of the cold feet there. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Hey, Dave, can you hear me okay, dude?
I can. What's up, sexy man?
I'm kind of the same as you just now, Dave, with the wrestling. I think
burned out.
Yeah. I think that was the first pay-per-view in a long time, Dave, that I've turned off.
The only reason why I didn't
turned
watch
off
it was because I was drunk as shit from my birthday, or I would have watched the entire thing. Not even a problem.
It's nothing to do with Jinder winning the title.
No, I like
him winning the title.
I like him winning it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it freshens things up.
Yeah.
The women's championship is probably a really good thing. The women in SmackDown need to freshen up.
But they're mishandling it. It's just like this whole fucking welcoming committee thing. All they're doing is screwing it up. That match at Backlash is a match that screwed up the entire event. It was the first point that just kind of tumbled the rest of the show once again. And it seems to happen with the SmackDown women far more than it does the Raw women. It's I don't know.
I mean, thing I was going to ask, Sasha Banks thing, do you think she's pissed somebody off backstage? Because she's fallen quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that her attitude, and this is something I pointed out quite a long time ago about Sasha, and I think people remember this. A while back when Sasha was the champion, I was able to effectively call every time she was going to lose because of her body language. She always gave it away. There's no hiding. She's a powder. And she does it on fucking Twitter all the time, too. I think she's pissing people off. And I also don't think that Vince McMahon was as high on her as a lot of other people were. And I've read a lot of reports to that he is simply not that high on him because of the fact that he feels that she's injury prone. He feels that she works far too stiff for her size. And I think those are very, very valid criticisms of her. Look, the woman can sell. She sells merch like a mother. She's got a great attitude about her and demeanor in the ring. But if she's difficult to work with, if she's constantly being this kind of whiner crybaby, it's hard to deal with. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me if she is getting more than just a cooling off period and this is a serious devaluing down the roster. But that being said, don't discount the fact that every now and then there needs to be a Jinder Mahal situation where you have somebody who's been virtually forgotten, like Alicia Fox, and you need to use somebody who's over and established to help get them to that level. We've seen this before in a lot of different instances, and lately it's been happening very quickly with Jinder and now with Alicia. So it could just be as simple as that.
Uh-huh.
You got anything else, bud?
I'm still here. Sorry, dude. I thought my mic cut out there.
Oh,
sorry.
you're good.
No, Dave, that's all I've got. It's like you said, it's just it's just not been the best time. You think with the Superstar shake-up, things would have got better. If anything, I think it's got worse.
I don't know if it's gotten worse, but I think after WrestleMania, which I do feel was a success, after some of the NXT stuff, including just 10 days ago or last Saturday, NXT TakeOver, one of the best events I've ever watched. It's one of the best events I've ever fucking seen.
Without any argument, dude, it is one of the best, yeah.
It's hard to, like, you feel disjointed when you're saying that in one breath and then in the other, like, man, I'm really burned out on wrestling. Because there is some great stuff, but when the flagship of not only WWE, but of professional wrestling, Raw, and to a lesser extent SmackDown, are simply not getting it done on a weekly basis, and you feel like you've seen all this before because we have, it makes it difficult to feel engaged, especially when we're coming off all of these big, gigantic nut busts like we've gotten. But this happens every year. That's the thing I do want to preach to people. This happens every single year. This is not a new phenomenon. You know, this happens every single year during this time. And then right after Money in the Bank, going into SummerSlam, things pick up. And I'm sure the same thing will happen this year. And with the women's tournament in July, just like last year with the CWC, it's going to work out. I do believe it's going to work out. You just got to push through it. Do not discount the fact that you and I are both getting into a brand new subgenre of recording and streaming. My attention is very Pokemon fixated during the day, so it's hard for me to care about something else that I have to work extra hard to even get into. So,
I totally understand, Dave. Yeah, it's like you said. Let's see what happens after Money in the Bank, because that is always a good show. It just never fails.
Should be a good show. Unfortunately, now that it's SmackDown specific, it makes it a little bit more difficult because there's only so much. If you don't already care about the SmackDown stars, then why are you going to care about the Money in the Bank? If you don't care about the WWE Championship, well, why are you going to care about Money in the Bank? You know, it's tough. So Jinder has got to sell this title, and I think they did a good job with it on Tuesday with their celebration. That felt big to me. I really enjoyed that. I did. I saw the clip of that. I did enjoy what he did. I thought it was kind of cool. It was a little bit different. We've seen similarities when like Great Khali would have titles and stuff, but this felt a little bit more like Jinder's legit. You know, maybe not everybody likes him in the ring all that much. I tend to. I think he's a big guy who can move quite well. His physique is a little bit repulsive to look at with all that fucking back knee.
But,
you know, the guy looks like he can hurt people, and I do like that. So I do give him some credibility.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I have taken from Backlash, and even the last couple of weeks, where I have found entertainment, is the Fashion Police.
A different sort of entertainment, but you cannot deny that these guys are absolutely entertaining. It's very similar to how Sandow got over. Very similar. An amazing worker, just like Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Incredible in the ring, but there was something that was missing, either with the crowd reaction or with what the faith was in the back. So they went and started to do something a little bit silly. Now, Sandow got a little bit of luck with some of the things that he was doing with The Miz. And subsequently, Tyler Breeze and Fandango did with Southwest Regional. Southwest Regional. You know, they kind of caught that same type of break, and they're running with it, and it's entertaining as shit. I love it.
No, I'm enjoying it, dude. But I'll jump off and let you get to more calls, dude, anyhow.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Have yourself a good night. Let's once again try to go to vaginal persuasion. Miss Kirsty Graham, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Hey, Dave. Sorry about that. Every time I try and unmute on my phone, for some reason, it pulls me out of the call, which is really fucking annoying.
You're good, lovely. What do you got for me?
First of all, fuck Brock Lesnar and taking the title away. I'm over it. I was over it last year, and I'm over it this year too. Just fuck him. But and WWE for never doing it, because it makes no sense not to have your
doing it once is forgivable, but doing it again, it's just like, come on. Seriously?
Yeah, especially with how badly it was received last time.
Yeah. Some people did dig it. Some people thought it harkened back to, you know, old school wrestling when like Hulk Hogan wouldn't show up or wouldn't wrestle on events. But here's the thing: Hulk Hogan may not have wrestled events, but he was always there. He was always there with that title. That title's got to be visible. When you got fucking Dean Ambrose and everybody saying that the Intercontinental Championship is the most important title on Raw, that is not a good selling point. That is not something that you should be trying to sell. That Universal Championship is a new title. That needs to be seen. It needs to be visible. We need to see Brock Lesnar. Once again, I said this last time. I'll say it again. Brock Lesnar at least needs to be doing vignettes where he's like raping cows and breaking 2x4s with his fucking big ham hock of fists. We need to see something. Yeah. That title needs to be important.
And what really annoys me as well is we're getting nothing from the WWE Championship, from the Universal Championship, but the WWE Championship in 5 months has had 5 basically
yeah, I
flawed
pointed this out a
transitional
couple weeks
champions.
back. They're all the last 4 or 5 title holders have all been transitional, and including in those names, you got fucking John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
There's no title up. I mean, I know like the Universal, the Intercontinental and stuff is being defended and it's there, but like
nobody cares about Dean Ambrose.
It just doesn't. I like Dean. Like
I like Dean. I like
miss
him.
John Moxley. Like I know him as a heel who does crazy ass shit, and
Do you
they keep
care
calling
about
him
him
the
as
lunatic.
Intercontinental Champion? No, I was just like, I have no give a shit. Do you care about his fucking long, it feels 1.5 feud with the Miz? Fuck no.
No, I hate it. I hate that they transferred both of them over to Raw just to continue this story.
Oh.
Why are we like that? Was my main problem. Like a lot of people said they weren't bothered, and I was like, no. The whole point of the superstar shake-up was that things were to be shaking up. It's in the fucking name. Don't just take one feud from one place and put it into another when nobody likes it.
Nobody liked it on SmackDown. You know, and the funny thing is, what we're finding out here is there was this myth that was going around that titles don't matter. There's a myth a couple of years ago that people were saying titles don't matter, and that is absolutely ridiculous.
It was Hogan that said that, actually.
Yeah, there was a few people who said it, and people kind of bought into that, and the WWE seemed to, in themselves, buy into that with the way that they treat titles, especially the mid-card championships, and now they're doing it to the main titles. But you know who proves it wrong each and every single fucking week? New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because guess what?
They have
New Japan has 277 fucking championships, and every single one of them are important. Yeah. They have 1,372 titles, and every single one of them matter. They defend 4,523 titles at every event, and yet people give a shit. You know why?
Yeah.
Because titles fucking matter. Titles are important.
And not only that, is they build them all to almost feel equal.
Yep.
Like obviously you've got your heavyweight, and that's like where the main spotlight always is. But even then, like it feels even like in ROH as well, like the TV title will be defended in the main event of pay-per-views, and it will feel just as fucking important. It's not impossible to do. And the thing is WWE are proving that they can do this indie style, quote unquote, of like making events and titles and feuds important, and then you get Raw and SmackDown, and you're like, you just showed us on NXT that you can do this. You're choosing not to. I don't know, and I know we get this lull. We always get it just after Mania, and then just after SummerSlam, and then everything picks up. Like there's 2 main seasons, but they have the talent. They have 27 writers. There's no fucking excuse for things to feel this lulled.
Nope. I agree. Doesn't make any sense.
I think I did like this week was because obviously Manchester Arena shut down. WWE are giving everybody full refunds for their NXT date.
Good.
Or they're letting people go to Leeds. They're going to open up the higher tier, and if you want to go to that one instead, you can do that. And they're donating money as well. Like they're not bad people. They're just really bad at booking, and it really upsets me. I don't even know
if they're bad at booking. They're like the reality is there's a lot of people who are very, very, very content with what's happening. And it's the kids. It's the casuals. And those are the ones who are driving the industry. We're not driving the industry. We're the cunts who are fucking stealing the product off of streaming websites. We're the cunts who threaten to fucking boycott the network every time that Roman Reigns does something positive. We're the cunts who fucking don't show up. Those kids, those casuals, they're showing up and they're buying. That's why the goddamn stock is still above $20 goddamn dollars. So that's the thing. The industry has changed. We haven't. The industry has, and that's the problem for us. And it is what it is. And hopefully there will be a semblance of that going back to normal at some point. But unless there's a major shift in how people, the culture, I just don't see it. Thanks, Kirsty. I appreciate the call.
No problem, David. See you later.
Yeah, all right. No problem, Dal. Hey, Andre, I see that you're in here now. Don't even worry about it, man. The show's more than half over. Don't even worry about it. You're good, brother. You're good. Don't even worry about it. It's not a problem. I'm going to take this last caller, and then I'm going to fucking vamoose because the show's already half over. So it's no problem. Old School Matt, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
I gotta ask, when the hell are we finally gonna see Shinsuke face AJ before or WrestleMania? At
WrestleMania, maybe SummerSlam.
Because let's be honest, every wrestling fan is gonna jizz an ocean to see that match.
Yeah, I agree. You just stated the most obvious thing in the world. Congratulations.
The most obvious thing in the world is that Pittsburgh boy, he needs a timeout.
Yeah, go ahead and give him a timeout. All right, Old School. I'm going to take Billy the Fridge. You got anything else?
Nah, I'm good. Have a good night, Dave.
Take it easy. Oh, I love Old School, Matt. Oh, he's still here. Old School. All right. Let's bring in Billy the Fridge. What's up, Billy? You're live with Dead on Dave, man. What's going on?
Been in.
Fucking trying to talk about wrestling. It's hard. It's difficult.
Talking some wrestling. Are you pretty much over it right now? Are you not so excited for Jinder Mahal?
I don't have a problem with Jinder, man. That's the thing. I actually like the whole Jinder thing. It was so out of blue, and I do like him. I don't.
Not only do you not have a problem with Jinder, you're going to have a serious problem with Jinder because he's about to completely take over the WWE. Did you see his coronation?
I did.
And did you see the YouTube numbers on that?
Was it huge?
It's like 3 million. It's like almost 2 million more than the next biggest video from the last week.
He's controversial, man, because everyone thinks he's roided the fuck up.
Well, yeah, but that's never stopped anybody else from being in the WWE ever.
Well, no, to an extent. I mean, but in their wellness policy days, it's certainly. I mean, come on, they suspended
the
Roman
wellness
Reigns.
policy. We've seen what. Well, they suspended Roman Reigns for like what, a month.
Yeah, I mean that was his first, it was his first suspension. It would have been Jinder's as well, but Jinder's never failed. I believe that. I believe he's actually never failed anything. I do believe it.
Well, he's going to be bigger than JBL ever was. He's going to be probably. I hate to say this, but he's probably going to be like the Cena of India.
Really?
Look how they treat Khali, right?
Yeah,
Khali
no,
couldn't
true.
even walk, and they look at Khali like he is like the master.
He's a god over
and
there.
Khali has the fact that he's tall, so like they in India, they believe in kayfabe. Like if you ever look at the Facebook comments from people from India, they're always like Roman Reigns #1, and like they're like show me your boobs to like Charlotte or whatever. But they believe in wrestling still. They're children, right? They are the target demographic WWE is playing to right now, but 1.3 billion people, right?
It's a lot. It is a lot.
So
people.
We take this Jinder who won the title because they're going to be in India in, is it September they're going to India?
They're going over there. Yeah.
So tickets are on sale, like I imagine right now, right? Like they have to be doing things months ahead of time, 4 months ahead of time. They put him as the belt. They're selling those tickets. If he holds the belt through to September and he makes it to India as champion, they're going to be throwing money at like everywhere. Like their economy is going to tank because all the money is going to go to Jinder merchandise.
There is going to be a lot of money being printed because of Jinder. There's no question about that. But I think just having him as a champion before going in, I think obviously him holding the belt in India would have far greater worth. But if this doesn't work leading up to it, they got John Cena returning in July. He's already scheduled to be in July 4th. So they could always go to him. They have Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles waiting in the wings as well. Not to mention Baron Corbin. There's always a transitional Kevin Owens period. So there are options if this doesn't work. And they can always keep Jinder strong going into India. So I don't think there's a lose situation with Jinder. But you're probably right. Jinder is more than likely going to be kind of Jinder mania, dude.
Well, you have to look at the way he's been booked, right? Like they're giving the American audience the fact that he needs the Bollywood boys to protect him. So they have that, but he didn't like use any sort of real foreign objects against Randy Orton. He just caught him by surprise, hit him with his finisher, which looked kind of weak. That was the worst part about it was that Yeah, his finisher needs to be a little more impactful. But every time you see Jinder on TV since he won that challenge to vie for the title, he has gotten better and better and better.
I agree.
And he has not peaked yet. And the second it starts to get stale, I'll reconsider these things. But I really think that he's just going to measure up every single week and improve. The vignette they did to show him coming to the ring out of the limousine with the cinematic style, like
it's cool. The carpet being laid on the ground. They're going all out for him, man. They're not really.
They could really do something with this guy, and we liked Jinder when he was in 3MB, right? Like he was like the cool guy to like. The 3MB were the cool guys. We all wanted to see them win. They were jobbers, but we all kind of liked them. And now that we get to see Jinder in a role that matters,
right?
Like how we saw. Who's the red-haired guy that was in 3MB? I always forget.
Heath
Slater,
yeah, with Rhino.
Heath Slater was the evergreen jobber, always losing, and we got to see him come up with Rhino for that tag title reign, and we felt so good about it.
Right.
The tag title reign we thought was going to be the feel-good moment, but the fact that Jinder has the belt now, this is such a different level of importance, and the history that he has doesn't matter because this is the future for Jinder. The fact that he was a jobber does not matter. They have reinvented him. They've given him the cool cars. They've given him the lackeys. He's got the Bollywood boys on his side, the Punjabi playboys. Like he has everything it takes to keep that title as long as he keeps moving up.
There's no question. He seems to have everything around him set for it. My only issue was the fact that 2 weeks before all this happened, he was jobbing to Mojo Rawley. And that was like the one big knock. And I get that. You know, sometimes things change. The winds change quick. And, you know, that's what we saw.
But you got to look at, he was jobbing to Mojo Rawley, right? But he was also the second man eliminated from the Andre the Giant Classic. He was the guy they had go up and slap Gronkowski.
Very true.
So even though he was jobbing,
no, you're right.
They put him in positions that matter. And now if the Patriots go back next week or next Super Bowl, if the Patriots are big and the Gronkowski's back at the Super Bowl or whatever, they have that clip of their champion slapping the trash out of him.
Very true.
So you can put the fact that he's lost and he was jobbing out to Mojo Rawley is actually, you know, he's got a lot of potential too, like for their body, for their build. You know, he's not my favorite type of wrestler, but he is
erratic. People can't connect with him. You know, it's difficult to connect with the guy.
I feel like there's a possibility for him to get his niche with the fans, and once he gets that, he's not going to stop. Like the guy he's fluent in Saudi, right? He speaks Saudi Arabian. He pushes himself to be a world-class entertainer, right? And that's something that a lot of these other guys, they're great wrestlers. They connect with the crowds. They don't have something world class, and WWE in the future is going to be about the world. Our entertainment in general is about the world. You know, we're breaking out of this. Yeah, I think Beauty and the Beast right now in the movie theaters was only the 8th movie ever to clear $500 million domestic in the United States, right? And think about all the movies that are breaking $1 billion. Like
they're all doing it overseas.
More than another half of that money is coming from outside of the United States. The world is ready to be a consumer now. The world is ready to be the people that buy the shirts, you know.
Well, they got those massive markets in India and in China. The two biggest populations on the fucking planet, you know. So
we're playing to the rest of the world right now, and the WWE is always going to be an American company, right? We're always going to have the American boys. We've had the Canadian boys at the top for a long time. North America's always been represented, but we're going to start seeing the rest of the world get their shine because the rest of the world is going to be bringing some serious cash to the table.
I agree with that.
And wrestling in Mexico has always been a tradition. Yeah. Mexico and Japan has always been a respected sport. India is in England. You know, it's always been a classic.
Well, we got it's a
Europe's
hotbed
always been a
right
classic.
now. I mean, you can make the argument the
But
best
India-
independent companies in the world are in fucking in England right now. So it's
Yeah. India is about to be the next big wrestling market.
Everyone's laying roots there because remember TNA is also laying roots there. Everyone's laying roots in India right now. It's
TNA was making money there. Like they weren't making money. Like they would make money in the UK. The UK is always a hot market for wrestling.
Yeah.
But TNA they have their roots in India because India, they believe in wrestling. They are the marks. And the marks are the ones with the money.
They believe in spectacle.
There's 1.3 billion of them. They love the spectacle.
You
about
can believe in
half
colleagues believe in anything.
Yeah, about a half a decade ago, I had a guy trying to sign me to a competitive eating contract, and he wanted to bring me to India just because the people are in awe of the spectacles. Right? He was ready to set me up and just have me eat in front of like thousands of people who are probably starving.
Were you to sign that shit?
I was very close. The guy had some personal issues that like kept me from doing it, and I got into music, and I was like, nah,
herpes?
I'm cool. So
you had herpes, huh?
Yeah. I didn't want to get herpes, man. You know what happens when you kiss them boys?
I'm really sorry about that, by the way. I apologize. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for that to happen. You know, you were talking about Jinder and Heath. What about Drew McIntyre, the other member of fucking 3MB, now back with WWE, looking like a man now? There's a very good possibility by Royal Rumble, Drew and Jinder might be battling over that fucking WWE Championship. It's kind of interesting that all three guys have gotten a more prominent place, and they were all left for dead not 3 years ago.
I think NXT needs Drew.
Yeah.
I don't think that they can move him up the card until he has done some serious work down there.
They seem to be fast tracking him. They seem to be going real quick.
Because they wanted him to be the guy. What, 6 years ago? Remember when he was the chosen one, McMahon's chosen guy? Yeah, they wanted him to be the guy, and things didn't connect. You have legends like Bret Hart who have gone on record saying Drew McIntyre is like one of the best young wrestlers in the company before he got fired, right? And then he got let go, and everybody was like, this is a terrible mistake. Like, he's a hand. He's the type of guy that you can use. And he went and he did what he had to do in the rest of the world, and they realized, yeah, we need the hand. We need him in NXT because NXT is empty. Or not empty, but a lot of the guys that were...
up now.
Yeah.
And they got some boys
NXT's,
now, man. They got some stuff.
NXT's going. But was it a couple takeovers ago where it was questionable where they were going to head, and even Triple H was the one in conference calls saying that there's a lot of work to do.
And now, I think that, I mean, you look at it. I mean, Jesus, they got 2 or 3 major sellers that could be coming up to WWE quicker than people thought. Aleister Black, that dude is just fucking money, dude. I mean, did you see what he did on this week's NXT? I mean, good what he did before Kurt Hawkins.
Oh, poor Kurt Hawkins.
It's so good. That match, it's short and it's one-sided for most of it, but he absolutely just shit whips the shit. And by the way, we brought in Andre Corbeil, one of the best men in the wrestling industry as far as wrestling knowledge goes. He's joined us now with Billy the Fridge. What's going on, Andre?
What's up?
Am I on?
You are, yes. That's why I just introduced you.
Am I nice and clear?
You're clear-ish. I'll take it.
And nice-ish.
Ish. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, now it's just we both have tits, but we're both gentlemen.
We're man boys. We kiss.
They say if you cut soy out of your diet and you're a man, it eliminates your man boobs.
Billy, how much soy are you taking in, Billy? How much soy have you taken?
I haven't had soy since I was 8 years old, and I had man boobs well before that, so I must have had too much soy.
There goes that theory right out the window.
Bit. What's going on, Andre?
Not much. Yard work. Sorry, I'm a little behind, but
you wouldn't be you if you weren't.
We have one of those weed whackers where you have to mix. You have to mix the gas and everything, and I couldn't get it started, and
fucking Canada, man.
Finally did.
Riveting Canadian fucking lawn care stuff. That is absolutely riveting. My God, what do you got?
Did the lawn win?
Yeah.
No.
Did the lawn go over?
Did you put the lawn over?
Did the law.
Was it a dusty
lawn did
finish
the
for
job.
the lawn?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do I got? I fought the law, but the law
Well,
won.
not the law, the
I'm like,
lawn, you fucking Canadian goddamn.
You had everything there.
Jesus.
I thought
Dave,
the
I've
lawn
been
and the
trying
lawn
to-
won.
I've been trying to get on with you, Dave, till the point where you said, what was the very first thing I heard again? Oh my God, it was fucking hilarious.
I don't know. I'm pretty funny.
Never mind. I can't. I've been trying to get on for 30, 40 minutes now.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, I didn't see you in there until we were 30 minutes into the goddamn show, my co-host. Holy God. It's okay, though. I
Yeah.
forgive you. It's because you got a beautiful face. So what's up, man? What do you got for us this week, my friend? I'm going to
What
keep
do
Billy
I got
around
for
because
us
Billy's
this week?
Billy's a joy.
Bouse.
We got Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff returning to the ring, dropping a knee, dropping an elbow, and a couple stomps on a, let's just call him a trisexual athlete in
fuck's a
Tasty Travis Cole on the Andre Corbeil Show. So you can go over to Title Match Wrestling after this and check out a real solid show. Dave's been working his ass off, so we got the week off as well as Rob Kimball as well, but OneWrestling.com's Billy Ray Valentine stepped up and has a segment, as well as Triple H's former personal assistant and former WWE employee Randy Helms, who also does a segment as well on this week's Andre Corbeil Show.
Yeah.
So head over there after this live discussion with the man, Dead on Dave.
Dude, I fucking love the entire Paul Orndorff interview. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I don't like the fact that he's getting back in the ring for any physicality whatsoever, but great interview.
And you know what, Dave? He wasn't even required to do that.
Well, yeah, because they're all nuts.
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but it all led from Tasty Travis Cole calling Paul Orndorff in the ring, getting in his face after giving him the middle finger and saying, "You were nothing but food for Hulk Hogan."
Ooh.
And yeah, so tune into the show. We got a good show this week, as of every week, where Dead on Dave is in the mix with Andre Corbeil, Rob Kimball, and Reborn Again, John Ritlin.
That's a hell of a plug. That's a hell of a fucking plug, man. You, Bill, you ever mess around with any wrestlers named Tasty? Does that tickle your fancy?
I once knew a transsexual prostitute named Tasty.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
She had strudel and pie.
What about a trisexual? Someone needs to explain to me what's a trisexual.
Trisexuals, I'll try anything once, right?
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
You got it.
Good God.
Some would call them metrosexuals. Some would call them, just down
Metrosexual
for whatever,
means you'll take an entire city bus up your anus.
That's right. Yes. Full
down
to the
for
elbow.
whatever, right?
You take it to the elbow. Is that what the fuck is the Velveteen Dream? What is Patrick Clark then?
What?
He's kind of like a Prince knockoff, no?
It's working, right? It seems to be fucking working somehow. I'm shocked at this.
He's a good guy, right? He's a decent
got
worker.
A great look to him. The kid, he's green as shit, but man, he's got a great look to him.
He was the guy from Tough Enough that everybody liked, right?
Yeah. Big fucking kid, like 19 years old. I think he's like 20 something now. Big studly kid. They're like, make him a tranny. Let's see what happens. Like, fuck.
And you know what? This isn't even the first time the Prince gimmick has been used in wrestling. You go back to Prince Iakea in WCW, who was the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea.
That's right.
I hope Patrick Clark runs with this and it's a success for him. Hulk Hogan, it's no secret.
Orlando Jordan had a little bit of a twist on this as well. He was more.
He had a little bit. I think he was more, androgynous, bisexual, right? He was straight up going for the bisexual vibe. I think that Patrick Clark, if he plays it more princey, he's going to be the guy that walks into the club wearing a dress and leaves with your woman, right?
He's so big. He's big as fuck, and he looks imposing.
Especially in a dress.
Not everybody can pull that off. That's a special talent.
Like when you walk into a club and you see a beautiful woman wearing a silk dress, and then you look down as you check out her packages and you see a big old bulge. Right. Like, is that a done deal right there? Are you just taking her home or what?
Me personally, hell, at this point, it's been a few fucking years, Billy. I'll take you home.
Sausage party.
I'm telling you, dude. It doesn't matter. Andre, have you not checked out the Velveteen Dream yet? You have no idea what we're talking about with him, do you?
I've been jumping in, saying a bunch of things, but nobody's responding to me, so I don't know what's going on.
Because you don't watch NXT. I forgot about that. You're not an NXT guy.
I did watch Tough Enough.
He wasn't like this on Tough Enough at all.
No, he was just an asshole. Everybody wanted him gone.
None of you guys heard my Prince Ikea talk either, did you?
did. Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
I referenced it.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't hear any answer from anybody.
I'm sorry. Did we not give you enough
I
love?
really don't like this Discord.
See, I thought that the Prince Ikea thing was just a little drop. A reference. I didn't know if we were going to go and talk about the entire career of the artist formerly known as Prince Ikea. Which, if you want to do that, we could, because I do think that was he the one that had Paisley?
Yeah.
That was Charmel, right?
Where I was going. I was just saying, I think there's connection issues.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so. No, we're just messing with you, Andre. Don't worry about it, buddy.
But no, let's make this the Prince Ikea show.
No, thank you.
What's he up to these days? Can we book him against Paul Orndorff?
I don't have a clue. There's so many wrestlers that I've tried to get in contact. Mainly Elix Skipper has been the wrestler that I have not been able to track down.
Elix Skipper was one of my favorites. He was so
Mine
good.
Too.
Was he the one that did the Rana off the cage in TNA, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that was so sweet. I liked him way before that. His WCW run, I loved his WCW.
I liked him from the start. Former CFL player with the Grey Cup ring.
Thank God.
Yeah, he was a great talent. So you haven't been able to get a hold of him, because if you get him and book him, that might be the greatest thing.
I've tried to get him for an interview, and I even got help from Vince Russo to try and track down Elix Skipper, and just he's like disappeared off the planet. I know he has a wife and kids and life after wrestling and whatever, but he has literally disappeared off the face of the planet.
I think I know where he is. I believe he's Jinder Mahal's left nipple. I think that's what he's the left fucking man breast of Jinder Mahal.
You know who else had crazy nipples? One Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had Franken titty. So we're in good company here. Right. Jinder is about to be not just the next Bollywood movie star. He's taking over actual Hollywood like The Rock, okay? Like this is he's going to be the #1 seller in 2 markets.
Okay, I was buying your bullshit earlier, but now I'm like, all right, now I think we're burying it a little bit far. Did you hear about the second coming of Jesus earlier there, Andre? About when Billy was going on about
John Cena.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I did, and it's to quote WWE. It's best for business.
It is.
You look at how pro-Muslim, how pro-India. I know there's differences.
A little bit.
The world is right now. It's smart marketing, and when it pertains to branching out the brand globally in areas that they haven't really totally cornered, is best for business. So I think he should be the champion till at least past SummerSlam.
Well, you're a Jinder guy anyway. You've been pushing Jinder for a while. You like the guy.
Well, I know the guy and his family. Yeah. So he's a proud Canadian Sikh.
Shh.
Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. He's an evil son of a bitch from India.
From India.
Never been to Canada. He doesn't know what Canada is. Yeah.
He worships cows. He wasn't trained by his uncle, the Great Gamma, who's another Canadian. Sikh from India.
Yes.
You know who's another?
Can't break Fabe now.
Just like Bunty King. Yeah. Just like Bunty King.
Canadian, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin and someone else who was talking about this current. I believe it was Chris Jarrett. No, I can't remember who the secondary person in the conversation was at this point, but they were talking about the fact that Jinder has been around for 15 years, has left the company, went and established his brand even more after leaving the company and coming back in. And that's the real story.
Well, did he establish his brand when he left?
Let me finish here. a lot of the fans that haven't really done their homework are quick to say, oh yeah, jobber, 3-man band, fired from the company, back, instant champion. That's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. 15 years this guy's put in, and let's be real, we've seen many superstars that Vince McMahon has taken a liking to that were as green as hell. Braun Strowman, Braun Strowman. But
Braun
nobody
is an amazing talent.
Yeah.
He's a possible Brock Lesnar prospect.
What I'm saying is people have convenient memories when it comes to superstars they're generally not on board with when it comes to critiquing them in their history.
Well, it comes down to what you're able to do in long stints in WWE. Now, Braun Strowman has basically had a cup of coffee in WWE, and he's already fucking.
That's what I mean.
But Jinder's had long stretches where it just didn't work out. And now when he comes back, he looks different. Everything's different about him. I mean, you look at his body when he was in 3MB, and you look at him now. He's a different guy. And that's not a knock. I'm not accusing him of anything. I am saying wellness test the guy, but I'm not accusing him of fucking shit because
Dave, there's a guy in every locker room, in every promotion, no matter what country it's in, that is the steroid provider, the pill provider, the anything you want provider. And it's so much more widespread than fans even realize when it comes to steroid use in the industry.
So you think Ryback's right? You think he's juicing?
He's even admitted
I think Ryback would know.
I think Ryback would know, yeah. Well, I just read Jinder yesterday. He did an interview where he says he is 100% clean. He said he is natural. He says this is all hard work and nothing more. He says he gets tested regularly. And diet, yeah.
Well, that's great. I 100% hope it's true, but also we're talking about wrestling here, where everything's a freaking work, and you can work the steroids just as much as you can work the fans.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
It really doesn't matter if he's on steroids or not.
No, it doesn't.
Steroids are not as bad as they are shamed for in public, right? They can be abused. They can do damage if left unchecked, but cycles of steroids can positively affect your body.
I was using when I was in high school. I went to a 5A high school. I used it was at the time it was legal. I used the same shit Mark McGuire was using in the 90s. I was using fucking Andro. Same shit. And we were kids.
I watched a friend of mine that many wrestling fans around the world know go through from being clean to through a couple cycles of roids. He was very, very on edge, very argumentative during that time. And once he stopped, everything that he had gained went right to his gut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Steroid gut's a real thing.
It's a serious. Yeah. We'll see Ryback sporting that in a couple of years.
But Dave. Yeah, Dave. It brings me back to, in my opinion, it was one of your best videos I ever seen you put out there. It was after the WWE decided to brush punishment for Brock Lesnar and his UFC issues surrounding steroids.
Yeah.
And being so selective. And if WWE wants to be selective, there's no credibility, Dave, behind that wellness policy. It just becomes a selective political policy for press and public to eat that up. Because
it's toilet paper. It's toilet paper, essentially.
It's the WWE wellness / hypocritical policy.
Yeah, once the Brock Lesnar thing came out, you could pretty much throw the wellness policy in the trash.
Yeah, and no amount.
I would never bring that up in an argument for or against it anymore. It's just dead.
It is dead, and they tried to kind of salvage it by punishing Roman and punishing some of the other peoples that they have punished. But if you don't punish everybody unilaterally, if everything is not on the same, if you have different tiers, then I think you have a serious problem. And it really bothered, the whole Brock Lesnar thing bothered me. But he didn't just test. He blew up multiple fucking tests on an actual world fucking wide global testing market. And he fucked up and they did nothing to him.
Being selective over being consistent is a major, major problem.
Sure.
Not only for credibility, but for honesty.
Yeah.
But their defense was that he's not a full-time guy, so they don't have to worry about him full-time, right?
Yeah.
You treat everybody the same. or you don't treat anybody at all. There's no examples. There's no. You look at what's his face, Adam Rose.
Yeah.
You know, explain the differences of the two to me.
Adam Rose wasn't drawing money.
Yeah, no, that's where the argument's going to come. But the thing is,
fair enough. But I'm talking in terms of hypocritical.
Look, if you get arrested, if you are guilty of committing an actual crime, well, then this all goes out the window, right? Well, hell, Brock stepped into it about as close to fucking breaking the law as you possibly can. The only fucking reason why he doesn't get prosecuted is the fact that athletes have this little bit of a blanket that if they're tested by a governing body like USADA, that they don't get prosecuted. It's not drug use. It's just there's a new category for it. It's actually fucking quite disgusting and bullshit when you really look into how craptacular the whole thing is. Enough to make you fucking spit. So I try not to get too mad about it. Yeah.
Dave, let's look at another example that nobody pays any attention to, who is Triple H. Triple H every year goes through a few cycles of roids, rolling into WrestleMania or before the WrestleMania season program, and nobody says a damn thing about it. Obviously, he's got the power to do that, but the fact that nobody ever points it out or addresses the problem, and this is a problem for other superstars as well, and we all know it.
It's hard to disagree with the fact that Roids is still looks prominent in professional wrestling. I'd like to think that it's been cleaned up. And to his credit, I mean, even before he got into bed with the boss, Triple H has never really been hot on any goddamn wellness policy as far as I've known, ever. Whether that means anything, I don't fucking know at this point. Does it even matter anymore? Does it matter at all?
It really doesn't. You know, the federal indictment in the early 90s was the breaking point for steroids, only because it was public and there was a serious risk of losing the company. So they had to save face. It's been over, 25 years now since that happened. It's been a quarter century.
But
they found ways to work around it. They found ways to try and save face.
It matters morally, but I mean,
it does matter as long as they're gonna parade around the wellness policy. As long as wellness policy.
Well, the wellness policy has it even been brought up since Brock Lesnar? Has anybody been hit with that since the Lesnar thing?
Paige Del Rio.
Well,
Eva.
Del Rio just quit, and Paige, I don't know. I feel like
that's a weird situation in and of itself. I mean, that's a weird situation. That whole
wellness policy might just be a fucking political spanking for people.
But when you're touting it as a real, governing body, like a real legitimate. When you're saying this is how we're protecting it, and this is what I got into with the Brock Lesnar video, by the way, because they're using the wellness policy as a way of saying, you see all the dead bodies in their 40s that was happening, 10 years ago. It's not happening as much now because of our wellness policy. They're touting this as a way that they're protecting wrestlers. That I feel is a much bigger problem than any other bullshit that we're talking about, because I do worry about these lives that fucking just burn out.
I don't think 40s. steroids are going to be the killer for these guys. The wellness policy does matter when it comes to abusing pain, pain killers and drugs and shit that are gonna stop their heart. Like there is a certain level. Yeah.
One word: schedule. The killer is the fucking 300+ day schedule.
Yeah, and that's why they don't have to worry about Brock Lesnar on steroids, where they might have to worry about Jinder Mahal if he gets too out of hand.
Not only being away from your family, whether you have kids or a wife or whatnot, or something else going on in your life on the side, when you sign a WWE contract with World Wrestling Entertainment, your life becomes theirs.
Yeah, but that's the price you pay when you join the carnival.
No, I've spoken out a long time about shaving the number of road dates, because I personally think that is the biggest killer in wrestling.
I think it's the lifestyle altogether, man. I think it's not just that. I think it has to do with everything that goes with it.
They don't have to. They've kind of shaved the dates by having an A team and a B team, SmackDown and Raw. And they could shave the dates even more and fill those spaces with other wrestlers. The working wrestlers aren't going to want to take that time off, because the more you work, the closer you are to the top. The more ring time you have, the more fan time you have, the more time you have to show the fans what you're doing, the better chance you have of getting the fucking belt and being at the top, because you've worked harder. The guys aren't going to quit. The ones that really have the motive to be the guy are not going to take the time off. They're going to nose the grind, and Vince is going to respect that, because that's the type of guy Vince is.
See, I think that all this expansion that we've been seeing with like 205 and UK, and even with this women's tournament and all of these things that we're seeing, it's for this reason. It's so they have more bodies to be able to maintain this schedule without having to burn out everybody on the same rate that they have. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, but that's what I think some of this is about. You got more bodies that are believable. They're on television. They're on the network now, which is getting bigger and bigger. It's not fizzling out like some people thought it was going to do. Now you have more people who are going to draw tickets, so you don't have to worry about burning out John Cena 300 days a year. Yeah.
But Dave, you also have fucking 5 times the amount of televised programming that you had before.
No, that's true. But here's the thing. There's not another entity on the planet that's generating the type of money that the WWE is with limited scheduling. There's just not. And that's a problem.
Fair enough.
You know, and that's the killer. You look at, like, I know you're a big proponent of what TNA and what Lucha does with their TV scheduling and everything, but all of those guys go and work other dates and are essentially working a very similar schedule because they have to maintain 2 or 3 lives to bring in the same amount of money. It's hard, man.
Those guys that work those dates, it's on their own accord, Dave. If they're banged up and have some time off and have the power to make that decision, it's in their realm.
And if you don't want to do the WWE thing,
the problem is when you sign a WWE contract, you don't have that say.
Then why do people leave and come back? That's my one thing. Look at a guy like Drew McIntyre. Look at a guy like AJ Styles. Neither one of them had any reason to come to WWE, one coming back, one going to for essentially the first time. Look at Samoa Joe. All these guys making fucking killer money. Adam Cole's about to come to the WWE. Absolutely no reason to fucking do it. The Hardys, no reason to come to the WWE. All the money in the world. Why do people keep coming back? That's the killer.
What do you mean the Hardys had no reason to come to WWE? I can give you 10.
Oh, they could have. Oh, come on, man. You know they would have drew plenty of fucking money everywhere else in the world.
Number one, a solid, viable run. Number 2,
exactly.
At 4 years old, though, yeah, that's pride.
Number two, to set up their Hall of Fame induction, which will come.
Well, again, that's pride. You know, it's all pride. That's
and you don't get to the Hall of Fame without putting in those hours. You know, you're not going to be the guy that says, "Okay, I'm gonna come in 100 days a year," and then not get there, unless you're Brock Lesnar, who can do 12 days a year and make it work. So that throws
that theory right out the window, because that's what Brock Lesnar has been doing. That's what Randy Orton has been doing the last couple of years.
Well, Randy Orton's he's legacy. He's not drawing shit, right? Every time they give him the belt, it's been boring as shit.
Randy Orton is what Samoa Joe was in TNA. He did everything in that company, and there was nothing else for him left to do. And Randy Orton falls in that exact same bracket, in my opinion.
It's an interesting discussion. It's an interesting fucking way to look at it. I'm not exactly sure. You look at a guy like Randy Orton, and you look where he is. Does it even matter anymore? Randy's going to the Hall of Fame. Randy draws, he sells.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
The Hardys
he was born into the Hall of Fame.
The Hardys
though, right?
were going to the Hall of Fame before they came back. AJ Styles was probably going to get into the Hall of Fame, whether if he ever stepped foot into a WWE door. You know, it's destined now. It's guaranteed at this point. But my point was, financially, there's so many guys that don't need to come back to the WWE, and if there's so many hazards to coming in, why do they keep coming back? It's
WWE is the machine. Yeah. You know, you could be working every day in TNA and on the indies, and you're flying in and out of cities, and you're at the airport, and you're running into people who are like, "Oh my God, the Hardys, I love you. Why haven't you been wrestling for the last 12 years?"
Right. Because if you're not in WWE, people aren't seeing it.
I've heard that so many times. I've heard that so many times over the years since Rob Van Dam said it, and it's been packaged and bottled in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's 100% true. These guys, they all have.
Where I was going.
Yeah, they all have their egos, you know. This is ego death. Every time someone comes up to you and realizes the last decade of your work means nothing because you weren't on Vince's show.
Yeah. Well, look, boys, I think that's a pretty good place to stop this conversation.
Tell that to Sting.
Well, Sting was on Vince's show.
He came in to lose a match in WrestleMania and win a couple matches on TV, and that was it.
How much did that
matter?
But it was still, though. It mattered.
Still more eyes saw him.
Beyond that,
him in those two matches than anything he did in TNA.
Beyond that, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, whether or not he went to WWE.
Oh, agreed. The loss to Triple H doesn't hurt his legacy.
I get what you're saying. WWE's the grand stage, and it's where all the attention is garnered. But you can still have a very successful Hall of Fame worthy career outside of the company.
Agreed.
You totally can.
But yet people keep coming back. They keep coming back of their own accord.
You can't have a Sting, right? You can't have a Sting in this generation because Sting was the Cena of WCW. There is no other competitor.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no other. There's nothing like WCW was to WWE. TNA is not an option.
It's very true.
It's never going to be.
That's a little bit. I think that's Billy's point. There's a little bit of a problem there. I mean, you look at a guy like
there
Roderick
may
Strong,
be, but
you look at Roderick Strong, the guy who held the fucking torch for Ring of Honor. Nobody fucking knew about him until right now. Now people realize they care about Roderick Strong. Why? Because of 2 fucking promos that WWE packages that they made on the guy. It's unbelievable.
It's kind of hard to invest in superstars that kick out of 20 finishers in a promotion with no selling or psychology.
The indie argument. I love it. Oh, are we gonna? Let's go Randy Orton with it. I love this. This is great.
I don't know if it's hard to invest in that type of mentality. That type of mentality is what, you know, the young guys sell tickets with.
Yeah,
a lot of people they want to get their spots in, and they want to do 1,000 spots, and they all want to hit their finishers. Nobody wants to lose. It's just young and dumb, right? That's why you go to the big leagues to learn from the vets and actually know what the hell you have to do.
That's why NXT is so fucking essential. It seems like to the whole process. When you come in there and things
it's been
change,
amazing, yeah.
I think so. I think it's pretty damn great. But you know what else I also think is amazing? This fucking discussion. We need to have YouTube boys back on here a little bit more often, and we need to do this again. But we've been going for about an hour and a half, and my old ass is ready to get some sleep. So, Billy, why don't you go tell like you need a goddamn plug. Tell the kids where they can find you because Billy's blowing up.
YouTube.com/overweight. I was blowing up. Now I'm lazy.
Damn right. Andre, tell the kids where they can find you as always.
You can follow me at Andre Corbeil on YouTube or every Friday at Title Match Wrestling for the Andre Corbeil Show with myself, Dead on Dave, and other people. But regardless, if you're like on Twitter or whatnot, you can follow me at Andre_Corbeil or Wrestling News Talk, the Facebook fan page.
Gentlemen, I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much for joining us. And everybody out there, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. We're going to be doing some Pokemon tomorrow. I'll talk about.
You guys have a good night.
All right, guys, take it easy. You guys enjoy your evenings out there in fucking wherever you guys are. I don't know. Thanks a lot for joining us right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Keep it copious, folks. And peace.
Here's your winner,